Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are north of Merrill, Iowa, and I am here with Joe and Diane Rada, and we are going to be doing a retirement auction of an absolutely first-class line of equipment. They are retiring from their farming operation, and this auction will be on June 26th of 2025 at 10:30 a.m. Folks, we're going to walk through the equipment today, through the buildings today, and the tractors and the combine, tillage equipment, planter, and skid loaders, attachments, and all other kinds of things. And folks, you're going to want to pay attention with great detail to this video. We do lots of videos with families, but it is truly an honor and a privilege to represent Joe and Diane on this auction. If you've seen their equipment and the care it's had, the meticulous care it's had, you look at all the equipment for the most part has been shedded, not every single piece, but I would say the large majority of it is all shedded all the time and extremely well maintained. And I know sometimes people think, oh, you just say them things, but when you look at their equipment, it is truly amazing how good a shape it's in. It's just so clean and so well maintained. So I'm going to first introduce you here to Joe and Diane. So Joe, how many years have you been farming first of all?
I started farming in '83 with my wife Diane.
Yep.
And things have changed quite a bit since then. I would say when we first started there was a house that sat right where the shop is.
Yep.
Our biggest tractor was an 826 Hydro.
Yep.
We started with 200 acres, renting 200 acres in 1983, and we've grown that and worked on efficiency for the last 41 years.
And it's my understanding that you guys farm together. Diane, you're very active in it too, is that correct?
Not really. I drive the grain cart in the
Hey,
fall,
that's
and
active.
I
That's
keep all the
active.
records.
Yes, yes. So
Diane does all the records. When we first started farming, Diane was a school teacher.
oh yeah.
And I did the records.
That didn't go so well.
When we went into the tax accountant after Diane took over, he was very happy. She does an excellent job with the records, and she's great help in the fall running the grain cart.
So Joe, we have a lot of great equipment to talk about, but I first want to just talk about your family just a little bit. So first of all, you decided to retire, and I think your decision came rather rapidly to retire. Tell me, and I know it's a little bit emotional maybe, but tell me a little bit what spurred your decision to retire when you decided here.
Well, I had my younger brother die last year, and I thought my time was running out, and like the rest of us, we can't stop age. God's in control of that. Yeah, and when I look back, I met my goals with what I wanted to do financially, with how many acres we wanted to get, and we're comfortable. And Diane and I like to travel. Diane and I traveled to China last year for a month.
That's nice.
We still like to travel, so I'm 65 and body's wearing out, so it was time to quit.
Diane, how many children do you guys have? Tell me a little bit about your family, Diane.
We have 3 kids. Our oldest, Andrew, lives in Denver with his 2 kids that are 10 and 6, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And then our oldest daughter lives in Orange City with their 2 children, her husband, Michael. They live in Orange City. Their kids are 4 and 1. And then our youngest child, Melissa, lives in I guess you'd call it a waiver home in Lamars, Iowa. She has trisomy 18q, so definitely special needs. So I guess what we decided to do with the proceeds of the auction is we're going to donate one of the tractors to Life Skills, which is the organization where she does laundry.
Nice, very nice.
And then we also decided to donate a tractor to our church.
Very nice, very nice. You know, Joe and Diane, we've gotten to know you better over the last few months, and I have to tell you this, when we get a phone call to meet with a nice couple that is retiring, we realize you guys always get just one opportunity to sell your equipment. And I just visiting this morning with you, Joe, you've told me, I think if I heard you correctly, you've had calls from Texas, you've had calls from Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, I believe you said North Dakota and Minnesota.
Yep.
And it always impresses me how good equipment attracts people, and it attracts them from all over the place. And you know, when you got the nice line of equipment that is so clean and low houred, and Blake, I don't know if you want to comment on that. You help on all these auctions too, and as well as Bryce and the rest of our staff and company, but you've been working with Joe and Diane here the last few months too, and what would your comments be on his equipment?
Yeah, no, I would agree. It's a very, very nice line of equipment that you guys put together. And the fun part in our business, I always think, is we get to meet a lot of interesting people and see a lot of true American success stories. And I think you guys would be a good example of that. And to Mark's point earlier, again on the equipment, it's one of those you walk through. Every time you walk through, the shops are clean, the equipment's clean. You know, everything's in its place. So it's a nice line of equipment, guys.
And Joe, I don't want to stress this too much because people sometimes think you're just saying those things, but we've done many auctions where people hurry up and clean up their equipment for sale day. That isn't what you guys have done. From the very first time you walked us through the sheds to now, sure, equipment gets a little dirty when you use it, but I guarantee one thing, Joe and Diane don't put it away dirty. I seen just when we pulled up this morning, one of your helpers washing a truck. You know, it's been a little rainy and you guys clean it up right away. So with that being said, let's talk about the equipment a little bit, and we'll just start here, and then I think we'll go into the shed and show them your combine, tillage equipment, wagons. He's even got a feed truck on the auction, and at the end of the video we'll talk a little bit about your feed mill system and stuff that's on the auction too, Joe. So tell me a little bit about your 310. This is a one owner if I'm correct, right, Joe?
Yeah, I bought this tractor at Titan in Lamar's, brand new. It's been a good tractor. Bought it in 2021. It mostly pulled the planter. It did a little bit of tillage, but it's been a good, clean tractor. When we bought this one, I was going to trade the 315 off, but I didn't like what they were going to give me for it. And Diane always runs the 315 on the grain cart, and the controls are a little different, so we kept the 315. That's one reason we got some extra tractors.
And the tax man said it was okay to keep it.
Yeah, it was time.
Yeah.
And it's hard enough for me to drive that one. I didn't want to learn a new one.
On the 310, I forgot what you said, Joe, but how many hours on this one about?
I think there's like 430 hours
Wow,
on it.
very low hours. And look at the rubber, guys. You know, you got knee-deep tread almost, guys. That's super sharp tractor. You got duals on the front, duals on the back. And like you said, you know, 400 and some hours on the tractor, guys. It just, and you know, sometimes people look at a picture and think, does it really look that nice? Joe, it really looks that nice. And that's how your equipment is. You don't see all scratches and dents, and you know, the cabs are clean. It's just in nice shape. Go ahead, Diane.
Well, to tell you the truth, if I would have known he was quitting this soon, I would have never let him get all these tractors. I figured he was going to keep farming like my dad did. My dad actually was out here driving the combine yet when he was, 93. He would have turned 94.
Oh, wow.
So I figured Joe would go on forever and ever. So when he told me he wanted to quit, I was like, what?
You bet. Well, let's go tell them about your planter a little bit here, Joe.
Okay.
Yes.
And on this, you got less than 2,000 acres or 2,500 acres, right, Joe? On this.
Yeah. This planter, we rented out the farm ground and custom farmed the farm ground in the spring. So this planter didn't do anything in 2025. I believe it's a 21 model, and the year before we did rent out a couple farms also. It's been a great planter. We put the smart boxes on it because we do grow a lot of corn on corn. It's set up for corn on corn.
You know, Joe, and I'm not saying this to sound like an auctioneer, but when I looked at your planter, it hardly looks like you ever even used it.
Yeah.
I mean, normally, you know, you get some scratches from some stalks or something, but the thing just looks perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks perfect.
The tractor is, the planter is about as close to new as you can get.
Very nice. You got the trash whippers and everything on it. It's got the smart boxes on it. It's a 16 row 30, I believe,
Yep.
and a super nice planter. And you bought this brand new or a second owner?
I bought this brand new from Titan in Lamar's also. A lot of the parts on it are precision, like it's got electric drive. hydraulic downforce. It's got the latest technology in it.
Bryce, I'll let you scan the planter and the tractor here a little bit, and we're going to walk over to the shed here, and we're going to talk about some equipment. Why don't we start with your combine there, Joe? So on your combine, that's a one owner also, Joe, if I'm correct?
No, the combine.
Second owner?
I bought the combine when it was about a year old.
Okay.
There's a farmer down by Hinton that had this combine. He traded every year.
Okay. Okay.
But this is a
So it was a local owned combine when you purchased it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 2019 model.
I think there's about 1,178 hours on the engine and maybe 800 on the separator.
That sounds pretty close.
Okay.
That sounds pretty close.
We'll come in here a little closer to the combine, Joe, and we can take a look at it here. It's a 7250 for those of you watching the video. It's got the duals on the front, and like I said, 1,100 and some engine hours, about 800 separator hours, we believe. It's an axial flow. We're going to be selling the head separate from the combine, of course, but you can tell me anything you want to say about the combine as far as maintenance and what you've been doing on it all the time, Joe.
As far as maintenance, I took it into either the Titan dealer or the Case dealer in Orange City to do a pre-harvest checkup, and whatever they found, we just took care of it. I don't think we really had any trouble. I did have a diesel fuel leak last year around the sender.
Okay.
That happened during harvest, but it was pretty minor, and we fixed it afterwards. It's been a great combine.
Super clean machine, super clean.
Yeah, we got the folding bin extension too. Is
Yeah.
that right, Joe?
Yep.
Yep. So Joe, tell them a little bit about your corn head here too.
The corn head I bought from Town and Country in Orange City.
Okay.
It's a Drago corn head. Like I said, we do a lot of corn on corn,
Yep.
and it's advantageous for me to chop the stalk a little bit in the fall because we chop the stalks a little bit in the fall, and then we end up knifing in manure since we do a lot of corn on corn, and then we just leave it. There's a nice layer of stover out there covering it for the winter time, and then in the spring we'll hit the ground once and then plant. So.
And in a little bit, we'll show them your tillage equipment too, but it's an 8-row 30 Dragco.
2020 model. Yep.
Yeah.
And this one, you thought maybe 2,000, 2,500 acres through it too, since you bought it?
Yeah, that's probably pretty close.
Pretty close.
Excellent, excellent shape.
I don't think we've really, I'd say last year on the head we did finally turn the knives, but they got 2 more sides on them. There's a lot of life left on this head.
Very nice head. This skid loader's on the auction too, right, Joe?
Yep, I bought this 650 up at Carmel in Sioux County.
So I got to tell you a little bit of a joke a minute. You said Carmel. Up in the northern country, we say Carmel. But Franken Implement is where you bought it, right?
Right.
And super, super nice skid loader. Great tires on it. It's an S650, one owner too. You bought
Correct.
it brand new.
Correct.
And we're going to have several attachments on the auction too, Joe, that day. But this one got cab heat and AC and everything in it too, Joe?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice unit.
Been a good Bobcat. We did put new tires on it probably a year or 2 ago. But I think it's got like 1,100 hours on it or so.
Just broke in for a Bobcat.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Joe, you got to tell them a little bit about your feed truck back here.
Okay.
So we got a feed truck on the auction, which you don't see on every auction, Joe. We usually got combines and tractors and tillage equipment, but you had some hogs in your operation, and tell them a little bit about your feed truck.
Well, since 1983, we've always had hogs. I got rid of my last hogs probably 2 or 3 years ago, and now we're custom feeding. But we always ground our own feed when we owned our own hogs. So this feed truck, I purchased out in Nebraska from a Purina dealer, and it's the only feed truck I had. I'll show you later, but we built a feed mill back in the 2000s, and it's been a good truck.
And it's a Ford L9000. Any idea how many miles on it, Joe, roughly?
I think it's got like 545. It's got a good Cummins engine in it that's never given me any trouble.
And as far as the operations of the feed truck, auger system and everything all works good on it, Joe. If they're coming, if they're buying from a distance, it's mechanically it's sound as far as you know.
It all worked when we put it away. It has been sitting for, like I say, 2 or 3 years, but we cleaned it up and it's on the sale.
Okay. Got some nice Brent 644 wagons too. One thing I do want to mention, Joe, we said it earlier in the video, but the majority of your equipment's always shedded. And if you just look on the video here, folks, you can see we're walking through his buildings here. In the building, just this shed alone, he's got his combine, he's got his grain cart, he's got his wagons. We're going to show you a couple more tractors back here. You'll see in front of me here, he's got all of his tillage equipment all in the shed here. You can see his feed trucks inside. But these, Bryce, you can scan these wagons, but we got some super sharp Brent 644 wagons. And Joe, did you buy these brand new?
Yeah, I bought these new at the John Deere dealer in Lamar's. We bought both 644s and the Brent grain cart the same year. They've been great wagons. We do have 2 semis. The wagons don't get used a lot. Sometimes we're just using them to dump into at the bin site. Diane will pull up and empty the auger cart into the wagon, and we'll auger it out.
Perfect. And we'll walk back a little further. You can see the grain cart here too. Super nice Brent 882 grain cart. Excellent tires on it. I'm assuming on the grain cart, Joe, the auger and everything on the out auger is good. Just a super nice machine. And you know, again, Joe, you look at it, do you wax them every fall, or do you just wash them off? Or
No, we just wash everything off pretty good.
Beautiful. Looks like you polish them as clean as they are, Joe. Yeah, yeah.
This grain cart has got, we put a camera in there. My wife runs the grain cart, so.
I had to have the camera. 'Cause I couldn't tell where I was otherwise without the camera. But the camera works great.
So are you going to cry a little bit, Diane, when this one gets sold, or?
I don't think so.
I don't know about that.
That's why there's no dents in it. You got a camera. Yeah.
It's got a camera on the auger and it's got a camera in the hopper. So
Very nice. Very nice.
It makes it easier when you're
It
working
does.
long hours.
It does. Equipment gets bigger too, right?
Yep.
And a lot of times it's night work too. Sometimes. So, yeah.
And we were never afraid to use technology.
No.
It's always been one of those things where we have embraced change, and most technology, sometimes it's frustrating, but is good in the long run. Helps with efficiency.
That's one thing we should mention, Joe. If they look at the online catalog at zomercompany.com, they're going to see that you got some GPS equipment that'll be on the auction too, and that's all listed there and pictured there and lotted there. And I think while we're standing here, Joe, should we catch your one tractor in the back here a minute?
Sure.
Back here. So, Joe, what's the story behind your 1466?
Well, as I mentioned before, we've always raised pigs. This tractor has probably never really been out in the field. It's basically a PTO tractor. It runs augers lately. At one time we had a couple grinder mixers, so it ran that. But it's been a great tractor. I put a new radiator in it a couple years ago in the fall. It started to leak, and it was a rainy day, so we just went and grabbed one and put it in. Once again, good starting tractor.
But the seat needs to be replaced.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
seat on it is terrible. It needs a new cushion or whatever.
it doesn't really do field work, but
Yep.
it's great. Been
Yep.
great PTO.
But a
tractor.
good straight 1466 for its age.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got the rear fenders on it. Yep. Wide front, of course.
Yeah, and I think the tin on it's pretty good yet. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, let's walk back up a little bit here and talk about your Case H 340 disc. Did you buy this new also, Joe?
Yes, I don't really remember where, but yes, I did buy this new. I think I might have bought it up in Rock Valley.
Okay.
I used it for a few years, and then I ended up buying this Landau.
Yep.
I didn't trade this because I didn't really know how I would like the Landau.
Sure.
The Landau's a VT.
Yep.
It does probably a little better job of smoothing the ground off
Yep.
and leaving it more level. And you can run that 9 miles an hour.
A little higher speed.
Yeah.
Yep.
You guys know that you can't run a disc at 9 miles an hour, so
Yep.
you can get a little more done with the land.
Looking at your disc, the 340 was a very popular model. A lot of people like the Case H 340. I noticed you got the 3-bar harrow and stuff on it too,
Yep.
which is nice. And you always keep this inside too, Joe? It's always shedded?
Yeah, this shed we're standing in is 60 by 120, and we use it for cold storage. It's not insulated. We've got a shop to do the work in there, but
Yep.
everything if it's not in use is stored inside.
Let's talk about your Landau here just a little bit if we can. This here has got the rolling baskets on the back, and you bought this brand new also, Joe?
No, this Landau came out of Illinois.
Okay.
They shipped it to me.
Okay.
It's been my go-to tillage tool in the spring. It helps a lot with the corn on corn. Does a nice job of leveling the corn stalks.
Just scan that Landau, Bryce, a little bit there and show them the rolling baskets on the back and what kind of shape that's in too. And like Joe shared with you, the nice thing about these is you can pull them about 9 mile an hour if you want to. They do a really nice job. Is this the main one you use for tillage today?
In the spring, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
In fact, that disc in the back there probably hasn't been used for 2-3 years. I kept it because I wasn't sure how I would like this, but I do like the Landau for that.
And if I'm not mistaken, Joe,
one
right when you
pass.
bought this, you actually found one closer locally, but you ended up having to get it shipped over?
I did. I shipped this one in from Illinois, and then about 2 weeks later, I found one up at Hull that would have worked just fine. So
Yeah, that's how it always works.
So what we should
That's the way
tell
it
them, Joe,
goes.
is make sure if they're looking for tillage, they don't miss your sale.
There you
Because
go.
they could have to go to Illinois to find another one.
you
Yes, yes, you bet. We're going to skip this way over here, Joe. I do have one question for you, Joe. You definitely are mostly red as far as tractors go. And my question is, how did a green one slip in here, Joe?
Well, I've had green tractors. I had an 8300 before, and I bought this at a farm sale down by Correctionville with about 400 hours on it. This tractor's got a little over 4,000 hours on it.
And folks, you can't see it probably as close as you'd like, but I'll tell you what, it's a super, super sharp John Deere 7700. And like Joe said, he's owned it since 400 hours. Have you ever had to do any major work to it at all, Joe?
This last fall, I did have to put some new bearings in the hubs.
Okay, okay.
It's been a good solid tractor.
Put new bearings in the front hubs?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, just one side, but
Yep. Bryce, we'll step back a minute and you can come up and scan the 7700 here a little bit, but super sharp John Deere tractor, about 4,000 some hours on it. Like I said, the owner's owned it since about 400 hours. He bought it on a retirement sale at Correctionville, and super, super sharp tractor there too, just to kind of show you that. The next one, Joe, I don't know how many calls I've had already on, but is your next tractor here that we're going to look at. And you bought this one brand new, Joe, is that correct?
I did. I bought this tractor in 2020,
It's a Case IH 150.
and then in 2021 I decided it needed a loader, but the 7700 had a loader on it, and this was always just a little too nice to get dirty.
Yep.
So this is very low hour. It's only got like 80 hours on it. I don't even think we ever used the loader on it.
I was going to say, the bucket didn't look like it had been used much.
No, the bucket's like new. So
And folks, it's a Case IH 150, and it's got the L105 loader on it. You can see, Bryce will show you the pictures here, guys, but super nice tractor. And did I hear you correct, only 80 hours about?
that's correct.
80 hours. Man,
And-
it's just
and
like off the
loader
showroom
does
floor.
have, loader does have that third hydraulics if you want to put a grapple on
Yep, for the
it.
auxiliary for the grapple. Yep,
but
super, super sharp.
It's about as close to new as you can get.
I would agree. Were you going to say something, Diane?
Yeah, I always figured we would be farming until we were 90. So my dad was still out in the field when he was driving the combine yet when he was 93, I believe.
Wow, that's
I
awesome.
always figured we'd be farming that long too.
Yeah.
But
I-
Joe's youngest brother died. That really threw him for a loop. And
You know, Joe, when you lose a close loved one like that, it does affect your thinking and also your future thoughts about life too, because my father-in-law passed away at age 42, my brother-in-law at age 36 and my nephew at age 24. So it does make you think about life, and rightfully so for all of us. So.
Yeah.
Should we take a walk outside and show them your 315 and your other Magnum tractor? And then you also have a Hooley honey wagon on the sale we'll talk a little bit about. But we want to also show you as we go out the door here, he's got his chisel here, and we also got a really nice seed tender. And did you buy the seed tender brand new, Joe?
Yeah, the seed tender I bought new, I'm guessing about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
It's been good seed tender. It's in great shape, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have Bryce scan your seed tender here just a little bit and your chisel there so they can kind of see the other items on the auction. Do we want to talk a little bit, Joe, while we're standing here about your semi-tractor that's going to be on the auction and stuff too?
Yes, I've got 2 semis. I'm going to sell one of them since I'll be using the other one for the hauling grain that the farms that are custom farmed. We are selling a 2014 Volvo with a Timpty trailer. The Timpty trailer I did buy new, so it's just been farmer used, and they're both good trucks. One's a 14, one's a 15. I guess one's a year older, and that's the why we're getting rid of that one.
Sure. You bet. Mechanically, they're very sound too.
Yeah, they're very, very similar trucks. If you saw a picture of them, you
Twins?
can't hardly tell the difference of it. But.
And I want to mention too, folks, there will be some small items on this auction too that we'll start with that morning, and we'll just talk about that while we're here a minute. You're also selling your livestock trailer over here, I believe. He's got a 5th wheel gooseneck livestock trailer that's really nice, which we'll scan when we walk up to the feed mill. But let's head over here to your tractors. And one of the tractors has got a really nice box scraper hooked up on it. Is that on the auction too, Joe, that you're selling?
Yeah, it's a big ox box scraper, 12 foot. Been a great box scraper for me. Once again, nothing wrong with it.
You know, on the first tractor here, I just want to mention, because we just came from the shed, Joe, but it's my understanding that your John Deere tractor and this 315 tractor are the 2 that you're donating to the church and to the nonprofit organization. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, wonderful gesture on your part. So here's the 315. This is the one Diane always ran on the grain cart. And this one here, Joe, is second owner, is that correct?
Yeah, this tractor I bought with 90 hours on it.
Oh, wow.
The guy that bought it in the spring traded for a larger grain cart, went like 1,100 bushels, and he wanted to trade up to a 340. So this was sitting there with 90 hours on it, so it's been a great tractor.
Yes. Yeah, and you know, folks, if you look at the tractors, like I said, Bryce, you can come up here and scan around the tractor a little bit, but folks, when you look at the cab interiors and you look at the rubber on the tractors, you look at the paint on the tractors, Joe, as far as maintenance records and stuff, anything we have we'll give to the buyers they can have. I know some of these tractors, the build sheets and stuff we have, which we put on the website, that they can take a look at on our website, but just super nice, clean equipment. And folks, if you haven't been there, you want to go to zomercompany.com. That's ZOMER company.com. We'll be running online auction that day as well as live auction that day. So if you want to attend in person at the auction, you may do that. If you want to bid online, all you got to do is pre-register ahead of time. And we welcome you to join us either live on site or online. Joe has always been a very integral part of the pork producers, and we're going to be serving dinner that day also at the auction. Is that correct, Joe?
Yeah, we're going to have, about 20 years ago, we started a bunch of Plymouth County pork producers started a stand at the Plymouth County Fair. It's called Grandstand Pork, and our signature item is pork chop in a glove. So we'll be having pork chop in a glove and water out here for lunch.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. You bet. Let's tell them a little bit about your 340 here, Joe.
The 340, I believe, is a 2020 model again. This tractor did mostly tillage, and like I said, we raise a fair amount of pigs. So this tractor did run the tank also.
Mm-hmm. Did you do some tillage with this one, you said too?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Every spring this usually ran the landau.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many hours on this one?
This one's got right at 400 hours too.
Yeah. You know, Joe, I was thinking about this the other day. I was going through your auction thing with Blake, and Blake, when you look at the hours on these tractors, you know, I know people get the chance to buy equipment. There's equipment for sale all the time. But an old man once told me something, Joe. He said, buy a piece of equipment from some home that you know what kind of care it's had. Because some equipment gets ran by 10 hired men and you know, it's got 4,000 or 5,000 hours on it and it's not maintained like this. And what was your thoughts when you started seeing these tractors as clean as they are with 400 hours on them?
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think you're gonna run the wheels off your pickup to find tractors with low hours as these tractors have, and as clean and well maintained as these tractors are as well. Yeah.
And like I said, folks, the auction's June 26, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. We're located just north of Merrill, Iowa here. And if you want, you can stay in. If you're from a distance, Sioux City's close by, Lamar's is close by. They both have motels.
Yep.
Obviously, Sioux Falls Airport's not far away if you want to fly into Sioux Falls or Sioux City Airport. But you're going to want to join us that day, folks, because we don't do these videos just to walk through equipment. We do it to show you the quality of the equipment, guys. It's unbelievable the type of care and work that Joe and Diane have put into this farming operation. And you know, Joe, I always think about this, you know, having sheds for your equipment, having heated shops. People often think, well, it's just to store it. But you know what else happens when you have a heated shop? You maintain it, because you can go inside and you can fix it in the wintertime or when you have a breakdown or when things happen. And it does make a huge difference on the quality of the equipment, because when you can't do that easily, then the work doesn't happen easily either.
Right.
That's very, very true. Tell us a little bit about your Hooley here too, Joe.
The Hooley tank I bought up at AWS. Like I said before, we have a fair amount of hog buildings, and this was my home for about a month every fall. So
Yeah.
it does. It's in great shape yet. This one was always stored in a shed. It was stored in that shed. As you can tell by the tires are not weather checked.
Yep.
It
Those
does.
are original tires, isn't that right, Joe?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bryce, go ahead and scan up to the honey wagon. You know what my first thought was when we seen this the first time, Joe? Most of them, when you look at them, where they fill them and everything, the paint's all laid off and everything else, you look at that thing, and you know the other thing, Joe, that we haven't talked about in this video today, look what new equipment's done in the last 5 years for cost.
Yeah.
If you think it's cheap to go buy a new piece of equipment, just go check it out, right, Joe? Prices in any model, any brand, definitely different than they were 10 years ago.
Right.
And you know, folks, when you're buying something with 400 hours, 500 hours, or you know, even less hours, you got a tractor with 80 hours, it's just good, clean stuff, and you just don't find that stuff. You can find high-hour stuff every day, but you don't find that good stuff. I want to, as we walk here, Joe, talk a little bit about your feed mill system, and we'll take some pictures of that when we get up here too. But
Can I just interject
yeah,
one thing?
you go right ahead, Diane. Absolutely.
I can say one thing. I would have never let him be buying all this new equipment if I would have had any idea he was going to quit farming. No, I figured if my dad was still out here. This is the farm that I grew up on. And my dad was still out here helping us at age 93, and I figured he loved farming so much that he would be out here farming. I would have never, ever had him be buying all this new equipment if I would have.
Hey, Joe, it was sure fun driving it, though, wasn't it? Yes. Hey, you know, she.
It all worked for me.
Yeah, you know, Joe, she's kind of blaming you, but she does the taxes.
Yeah.
That's why I kept buying it.
You bet. Like I just want to mention as we're walking here, folks, we will have a lot of small items too. So we'll be starting the auction at 10:30 in the morning with small items, and then we'll be working right into the equipment and the online bidding as it's cataloged. So you want to watch the websites and check that out. Like I said, we'll be running 2 internet platforms that day, and we welcome all the online bidders because you're just as important as the bidder on the floor here. So do you want to stop here, Joe, and talk about these just a little bit?
Sure. I don't really remember what year it was, but we had a feed mill and a granary over there when we first started, an old mix mill. We quickly ran out of capacity there. We moved to a grinder mixer for a couple of years, and then we quickly ran out of capacity there. So we decided we were going to build a feed mill on the edge of this machine shed, and well, it's something that we put together. It's got 2 Sudengay hammer mills in it. It worked great. It was one way that we could help improve our margins in the hog business.
Let's go inside the building and we'll talk about the feed mill a little bit. And Bryce, you can show them some pictures of the feed mill. And Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but if somebody buys it from a distance and they need some help getting it moved out, you'll work with them a little bit on a time frame. You're going to stay living here for just a little bit. So,
Oh, yeah.
and as far as the equipment goes, folks, if you're from a distance and you're on the internet and you buy something and you need it transported and you need a week or two to get it out, we'd work with you on that too. But let's go in a little closer here, Bryce, and you can show them the feed mill here too.
Turn the lights in. The other room also. I should have flipped the lights on.
And if I remember correctly, Joe, this is an Agtronics Feed Pro, and I believe the model number is an LX800 micro system. How old do you think the feed mill is approximately, Joe?
I think we did this in about 2005, 2006.
Okay, okay.
The feed mill is fully automated. In that little office there's a computer that would keep track of inventory. It would change rations. This feed mill was set up so you could either grind onto the feed truck, which we saw over there, it would drop right into the feed truck, or there's an electric two-way at the top of this leg that would go into overhead storage. So we ran it like every night before we left. We would set the computer and come back to either a full truck or a full truck and feed to the side. There were days where this feed mill ran over 100 ton a day. It did take a lot of time and work to grind everything yourself, but once again, it really helped with the margins.
Joe, maybe tell them just a little bit as Bryce scans here. So if somebody's buying it on the internet, tell them a little bit everything that's going to be included with the feed mill itself, if you would.
Okay.
Just so we can explain that to them.
Well, I'm going to start on the end where the two Sudengay hammer mills are. There's two 10-horse Sudengay hammer mills.
Right over here on the end, folks. You can see them right here. Go ahead, Joe.
That grinds the corn. We situated this right next to our grain storage, so the corn came into the overhead hoppers and got ground there. These next two units here are for soybean meal and DDGs. And this next unit here is micro boxes. We would store Thailand, lysine, methionine, the different amino acids. And that would all get augured in automatically according to how you had the computer set. The computer you'd set for 15 ton of ration number 6, and this would just put it on the truck for you. You just have to make sure you had enough soybean meal and DDGs, and you had your micro boxes full. So.
And the way it looks to me, Joe, other than dismantling some, it shouldn't be over difficult to move the way it looks to me.
I don't think it would be that bad to take apart. No.
Mm-hmm. And we're selling the feed mill system here, folks, that he explained to you. This would all be one system here. So when
Correct.
they're bidding on it, they would buy that as one system. And like Joe said, you know, if you're in that industry or any livestock industry where you need to do some mixing, it's a wonderful system the way it's set up. And Joe, I'm sure it worked very, very good for you. So.
It did work well.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, it just once we got out of owning the pigs, the feed's delivered to the buildings anymore on semi. So.
Let's go back outside here a little bit, and we'll kind of conclude our video here just a little bit. But I want to just talk about a few things a minute, Joe and Diane, before we do that. So June 26, 2025 at 10:30, folks, is when the auction will be. I do want to mention to you, we did not cover everything in this video. Joe, there's a few pieces of equipment that we didn't get to walk past, and obviously we didn't get it past your trucks and that kind of stuff. But I will tell you this, folks, if you're looking for good, clean, low-houred equipment, you will not want to miss this auction. And again, go to zomercompany.com to check it out. That'll be June 26, 2025, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you need some help with lodging arrangements or anything else, or trucking, we can sure arrange that for you and work with you on that too. But again, Joe, I just want to say a privilege and an honor to represent you, Joe. Appreciate it. I'm
bet.
looking forward to it. And Diane, same here. And I know it's going to be a big day and a hard day, but I also think that we all get to them personal decisions in life when we're supposed to do that. So I respect.
I will say one thing.
Yes.
I did tell him that he's not going to sell all this equipment and then decide the next year that he wants to buy all new equipment, which I'm a little bit worried about because this was a pretty sudden decision on his part.
So what she's really saying, Joe, is you are officially retiring. That's what she's saying. You're officially retired. You will not own another Case IH tractor.
I'm glad I've been told.
Yes, you've been told. You bet. Well, again, folks, on behalf of Zomer Company and our whole staff and our whole team, we thank you for watching this video. We encourage you to join us on June 26, 10:30 a.m., 2025 in that Central Standard Time. As you can see, the train is going behind Joe's place here. I think they're busing people in already, I think. So they heard the word. So again, thank you very much, folks. We appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you sale day.
Well, I would like to say that I called Zomers probably about 4 months ago, and they've been excellent to work with. They do know what they're doing. I've had calls from all over the nation on the tractors and planter trucks. So I appreciate your help also.
Well, we appreciate it too.
And your number's on the website too, Joe, so
Correct.
if anybody wants to give you a call, you're more than happy to have that.
And I do want to mention, Joe, sometimes your service down here isn't always the best. So if you want to text Joe, his number's on the website. His number's actually on each lot on the catalog, so you can be sure to check that out too. So,
Yep. Call with any questions.
Diane, anything else you want to add? Other than he can't buy any more tractors.
I do want to stress that.
All right, well, on behalf of Joe and Diane and their family and all of us in Zomer Company, thanks for watching the video.